All right, welcome. Welcome to H&M Sports Academy, HMSA.
Yeah.
I am Mo. This is Harry. We are here on a late evening on the East Coast after daylight saving time. Welcome to the winter, the dog days of the winter, I guess you want to call it. And here,
Dark ages we used to call them, right?
yeah,
The academy, man, they get dark when you wake up. It's
dark
dark when
age.
you go to bed, man. It's the grind. It's the
Yep.
grind. So
Go to class and go to class and go back and go to sleep, and that's it.
that's it.
So here we are, folks. Welcome to our show tonight. We are here to get ready. We're recapping another busy week in the NFL, another week in the NBA. We're focusing on the NFL tonight, mostly the showdown between the Chicago Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals, with Chicago traveling up to Cincinnati, and the Dallas Cowboys, who hosted the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals coming off a bye and trying to get back on the winning track. So we have these two games, and both games had their own level of excitement, a lot of question marks and ups and downs, as all football games do in the NFL. And we're going to jump into the Bears and the Bengals. I think the big backdrop there for me going into that game was Chicago coming off of a loss to the Ravens and feeling like you had a chance in that game. Kind of an odd game because you didn't know if Lamar Jackson was going to play. And Ravens were coming off a bye. They were desperate. They played desperate. They came out of there, got a W. Williams wasn't his best. And so now you're trying to rebound after a winning streak ends and get back on track. And Cincinnati was game. They're also desperate without Joe Burrow, trying to stay on track.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the game went off. So,
What's crazy? They did the opening intro and they were like, Cincinnati's coming in this thing. They're coming into the game at 3-5. I think we walking in at 4-3.
Yeah.
And they were just showing the probability of, playoff implications with each team winning. And it was something, dramatic for each team. Sometimes you walk in these games and you don't, at least for me, I'm like, it's an AFC, team, and it doesn't have that, kind of feel where a lot is on the line. And then as soon as they said it, I realized, I'm like, wow, 5-3 versus,
4-4.
4-4. And for them, going, was it 4-4, whatever that is, to
4-3,
4-3 to get them over the hump is huge. 4, so it was a little bit bigger atmosphere because of that. Cincinnati Bengals fans were feeling some life with Flacco at the helm, and this game had a lot more juice than I thought, initially. So and it showed right from the kickoff. So I get into my routine on Sunday morning. I wake up pretty early, and I got an extra hour to have all this, burn off.
Yeah.
And I've been up 5 hours doing all this work. And as soon as I sit on my couch, I light my La Liga, my cigar up. And as soon as he catch the ball, he screamed, and he doesn't get touched until the 3-yard line. And the Cincinnati fans going all off, man. And I'm like, wow, I barely blinked, and we down 7-0 with our special teams, man. So with all the juice that went into it, you could tell Cincinnati came in ready. They weren't playing around, And I immediately look, and we were talking offline just around normal. When we start slower, that's usually a great omen. When we start fast, it's not. With the Ravens, we started off great. We started off fast.
Yeah.
Against the, Minnesota, the first game of the season, we came out hot and started off fast. So this team's wired a little bit differently. I don't know why, but, we go down instantly 7-0. And I hadn't heard Cincinnati that damn raucous since who was that playing quarterback back? Boomer Esiason and Ickey Woods, man. It sounded like a blast from the past. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So
Yeah.
they came out with a lot of juice.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And that's the thing, you can talk about teams struggling and so forth, but man,
Mm-hmm.
once those lights come on and
Yeah.
the game kicks off, man, they trying to win, man. These guys are professionals. They're trying to win games and stuff, and they don't really care about your record or what you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
get accomplished. They're trying to get a win just like you are. And at that point, beginning of the game, no one knows who's going to win or what the outcome is going to be. So they feel like their chances are just as good. I mean, they're putting up 30 some points a game down there, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna score. So and they kicked that thing off, man. I'm like, dude, the fans haven't even settled in yet.
Man, the not to go back, but the craziest part is they right there in the division. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Between them, the Ravens, the Steelers, they get that win,
yeah,
and they looking at things from a perspective of
yeah,
hell. We might be inept on defense, but can you score 35 a game, 40 a game
yeah,
to keep up with us?
yeah,
So I think that added some level of, like you say, all these guys got pride, but they
yeah,
really believe that they can go win that division, and rightfully so. But
yeah,
yeah, right out the gates, man, they come out and like I said, I was super disappointed with our special teams on Sunday. We had that was just a lapse in physicality and gap control. You normally don't, especially with this new style of kickoff. And in the NFL, they implemented this whole, everybody static until they kick the ball. So it's
yeah,
hard to get a crease where you just run right through it, just because it's a mass of bodies that, almost meeting at one, at one point, to where it's just not enough lanes for you to see and react that quickly. And he took off screaming, man, and jumped it. So right out the gate, 7-0. The beauty of it is it happened so quick. I'm like, it's really just almost like it didn't happen, right?
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as if they had kicked off and their offense marched down the field and scored a touchdown in 2 minutes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it just
Yeah,
happened quicker because it was on a
yeah.
kickoff return. So it's still the same thing, a possession that ended off in a touchdown. They just didn't have to work for us. So
And when we laughed about and I know you would get into the meat and potatoes, man, but I know we laughed about sending the limos out for the Ravens defense, man. We should have sent Sandals retreat tickets to these damn Cincinnati. Bring your family, all expenses paid, drinks paid. Man, that defense stinks. But go ahead.
the great elixir that is the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Oh my goodness. But go ahead.
That ought to be a motto for them. Cincinnati Bengals defense, making average offenses look amazing.
Man, they like a filter, man. If you feel like you're looking bad, that they put that Cincinnati Bengals filter on your offense.
Unreal.
Everybody looking good. So
Unreal.
All right, go ahead and get into it, man.
But let's
What
get it
questions you
going,
got for
man.
me? Yeah.
Just looking at these different teams. You have the Bengals offense that is pretty prolific with Joe Flacco at the quarterback.
Yeah.
And going into the Bears, going up against the Bears defense.
Mm-hmm.
How did you analyze that side of the ball when you look at how your team did versus the Bengals offense? It was a tough deal, no doubt about it. I mean, you got a lot of horses with their receiving core, good backs, a quarterback who really doesn't make a lot of mistakes. You can say a lot of things about Flacco, but at this stage, he knows exactly where to go with the ball. So that's a tough matchup there for sure. So
you hit the nail on the head. We were down. Remember, Kyler Gordon came up lame in practice. He just came back against the I think the Ravens, and we lose him right out the gates, which is disappointing. Another soft tissue injury. He's our best nickel corner. He's also one of our best blitzers, and he's also one of our best run stoppers, right?
Yeah.
So to kind of help, stick a finger in that leak, we signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson off the waiver wire.
Yeah.
And he actually came with a lot of juice, man. He came with a lot of physicality, and He had previous experience with Dennis Allen. He had previous experience with Ben in Detroit and Allen in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually fit right into Kyler Gordon's role. I like what I saw from him. He was aggressive, got a sack, came with some attitude. But when you got Chase, and we talked about it in just the preview, man, when you got Chase and Higgins out there, we just don't have the Stevenson was coming back from a shoulder injury. He didn't look right. And Nashawn Wright, he's feast or famine. He ended up getting an interception at the end of the game. So while I joke about him, he damn near might make the Pro Bowl at the end of the year. He's got fumble recoveries. He's got multiple interceptions, pick six for touchdown. But Chase Higgins had his way. I mean, not Chase Higgins. I'm combining these two guys. They were so prolific. Higgins had his way with him, and Chase. You got to give him attention, right? So I think Dennis Allen came in and tried to keep the best at best as he could, try to bracket those guys and keep them from getting loose. But there's only so much you can do in that in schematics, because Flacco has seen so many defenses and coverages and stunts and blitzes to where his process is so quick. He was getting the ball out of his hands, and he had a hell of a day, from that perspective. So I really think walking into the game, my concerns were my secondary, and it was exactly that. Our secondary didn't look great, but also they weren't, they didn't look terrible either. We gave up some big plays. But at the end of the day, I thought we held our own, more than I thought we would from that perspective.
Yeah.
The run game, Chase Brown at the, I'm looking at, he had 37 yards, 11 carries. We bottled him right up. So really it was damage, was being done through the air.
And it's interesting because you're giving up a lot of points in this game, but they had to do it one-dimensionally. So at some point you still had a little bit of control in that aspect,
right?
And so this game still boiled down to, hey, let's force them to play one way or with one dimension and see if they can do it. The thing about it is they can do it if if the Bengals had a defense that was at least okay to average, then they'd be a tough team to beat. They'd be a very difficult team to beat.
Really, really, yeah. And I think the big piece for me too was, the question surrounding could we keep pace with them, right? So I think their whole motto was, let's jump on them, let's make it a shootout, right? They know the defense in Cincinnati isn't that great. So I really think their mindset was, hey, let's turn it into a track meet. Let's see if we can get Chicago to get off schedule, miss a turn or two, and then we get up, turn them one-dimensional, and lean into this home crowd, lean into our advantage on offense, and still a win. And they got pretty close to pulling it off. Game plan was sound in that area. I would say for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And you guys were in a tough situation between the injuries, like you said, and just how prolific their offense is, and the fact that they were going to attack. But there's different times in the game, where you kind of held your own, put Flacco in some tough spots. And how many turnovers did he have? Did he have turnover?
Oh, talking about Flacco?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had two interceptions, and he actually had a fumble off a sack from Booker.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what I'm talking about. You stole some possessions there. And so that's all you can really do in that situation where you're going to give up points. You got to steal some possessions. So I think you held on, as well as you could. Being on the road, crowd, environment, a lot of things not in your favor. So, way to fight. Got to keep fighting because you just don't know if the next play is going to be one that's going to help you win that game. So you got to keep hanging in there.
Right.
Well, obviously, we just talked about the swinging gate that is the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Yes.
They just got holes everywhere, man. I mean, everyone's trying to pick through their defense and, sign Trey Hendrickson and Logan. I think what's his name? Logan. I forgot his name. Logan Smith or Logan Thomas or something. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But they got a couple of good players over there on defense, man. But it's tough, man. If you're talking about trying to trade for some of those guys, it just feels like they got such a loser's mentality over there. It's hard to see anyone over there is, really prolific at anything that can really help another team. But gosh, man,
they got the big fish over there. Obviously, is Trey Hendrickson, right? And he was out. He took a shot in the head. I want to say against the Jets. So I think he's in a concussion protocol. Yeah. They got Wallace as a safety, who I thought was, he was playing hard. They got Shamar Turner, who kid out of Texas A&M, who's still trying to find his footing. But collectively, that as a unit, they're just bad, man. They're bad. Yeah. They've been bad all year. Yeah. I think from they got what's his name, Al Golden, coaching that unit over there, and he's trying to put these guys in some simplistic, dumb it down, and I don't mean dumb it down and that they can't learn it, but just to see if he can get them to play faster, more aggressive, because it's not as complex. And with a guy like Ben Johnson, he attacked that defense, and he hunted coverages, he hunted certain players and weaknesses. And I've been a Bears fan all my life, as long as I can remember breathing on this earth. And I don't remember us. We had one game, I want to say in the Urlacher years, where we put up 45, 46 against a Tennessee team, where it was pure, where we scored that many points. This is the first time I've seen us score like this offensively, with this type of, and we still were we left a little meat on the bone. But this is the first time I've seen an offense attack a defense with this kind of aggressiveness, and whether it was through trick plays, whether it was through inside zone, whether it was through power, whether it was through trap, play action. It was a damn, my wife gonna be proud of me, a charcuterie board, man. We got cheeses, meats, man. We got toothpicks, man. At some point, man, we just threw the toothpicks away and started grabbing everything with our hands. At the end of the party, man, everybody's digging in, man. We got fruit, watermelon sliding off, man, and ranch dips falling all over the place, man. So Kyle Monangai, rookie running back, 7th rounder, who
Swift is out
with a groin, but guess how we got Kyle Monangai? The Bengals give us a 7th round pick for Khalil Herbert the previous last year, and we used that pick to draft, Kyle Monangai, and he comes in and he only gets 176 yards on 26 carries.
Strange bedfellows, man.
Man, and he comes in, and I swear, man, from the time, and Eric Bieniemy, and you're a running back, right? So I know you love guys like Eric Bieniemy, who hard, tough-nosed coach when it comes to his running backs, and his whole thing is, hey, you got to average 4.5 a pop. If you can't average 4.5 a pop, you can't play for me. And if you can't block and protect my quarterback, you can't play for me. So they showed Kyle Monangai in training camp, and Kyle's kind of learned his way. It's like the first couple of days of minicamp, he's just doing a simple drill. He's going over the bags, and Eric Bieniemy's holding the bag, and he goes through it. All the running backs, Swift go through it. He looks so smooth and clean, and all the other running backs go through, and he's the rookie. He's the last guy to go through, and Bieniemy just looks at him. As soon as he get run by him, he said, man, Kyle, you looking like an old ass man, man. Get out of here, get out of my drill. And tough love, right? Fast forward 2 months, and the decisiveness, he was running so hard. He's a big ball of muscle. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, man, we might have found an identity kind of indirectly with him getting more confident and just being the guy, getting the touches. He's a guy that needs to lather himself up. And the more we gave him the ball, the C was hanging off his helmet. My wife's like, oh my God, his C coming off him. He hitting it up in there, baby. He doing what he got to do. And
Fighting hard,
man. And I really think that attitude that he brought held us and it kind of established an attitude on offense that we could utilize from a play action game and kept us in short situations. So Kyle Monunga, and then our other rookie, man, Colston Loveland. I've been hearing all this Tyler Warren and Indy talk. And
we talked about that.
We did. He's a dog, and I'm not taking anything away from Tyler Warren. I just think they're two different styles of a player. Colston Loveland, I'm really happy for him because he's a really good kid, and he's also a unicorn. And people are going to realize, and you saw it on the touchdown, you don't see many tight ends who can move like that, who are agile, and he's super, man. He's a route technician. He can really, exploit guys in the secondary. And Cole Kmet actually went out with a concussion. So indirectly, he got featured. And, from that second quarter on, and you saw where he landed, I think he was like 116 yards, 6 receptions, 118 yards, 19.7 a pop, longer 58, 2 tutties, right? And when you talk about your draft, Luther Burden was out with a concussion. It was almost, man, it's like watching your babies. And I got, two boys, and watching them grow up and have moments. I was literally watching Monunga and Colston Loveland. And I was just proud, man. I'm like, damn, man, being called upon in a stressful situation and being able to not only hold your water, but to excel. I was super, excited about that with those two pieces.
Man, because those are draft picks that you want to see, you want to realize them. And sometimes with those draft picks, it takes a year or two before you can really see any fruits of their labor, just getting adjusted to the NFL. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a tough league to come in and just, come in and just dominate. It's just very difficult to do. So you're just hoping that those guys are, competitive and able to contribute in some way with some form. Man, they out there carrying a team, making big plays, keeping you afloat. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
Huge deal. So, offensively, we'll get into it a little later, but DJ Moore and Rome, I didn't feel, like they just put their fingerprint on the game until a little bit. Well, Rome didn't put his fingerprint on the game at all. I got to check his FanDuel account, man. I'm scared. Rome, I'm just waiting for this federal investigation. I'm just waiting for his name to come out, man, because he started off like gangbusters. Now he got a case of the dropsies, man. Every game he dropping multiple passes, and he didn't even have a catch.
Sometimes to have a game with that type of scoring and he not be a big part of it is just kind of odd. Because he's been such a steady hand for you guys, this year. Just difficult to realize that.
It is, and I'm laughing. I'm sorry, you don't know why I'm laughing, but on X, his dad comes out, and if it's true, I'm assuming that's him. It was his Twitter account, at least from X account, from what I saw. His dad, I wish they would, the Bears would trade my son to get him in an offense that knows how to use him. Whoa! I'm like, man, your son is dropping. That? This is today, and I'm like, is this serious? Today? I go back and look, and I'm like, have you been watching tape of your son? He dropped a touchdown Sunday. He's been the main focal point for Caleb Williams, to the point against the Ravens, people were accusing Caleb of staring him down and not, the word out last week was Caleb hates tight ends, right? And we're going to get into all this slander on 18 of my quarterback. But last week is Caleb hates tight ends and he only zeroes in on room. And now, you got these diva, not call them diva daddies, man. These daddies standing up at the fence. And I wish we could get him in the offense. And I said, what offense are you going to find that's better than this one for your son?
Man, these Gen Z dads, man.
and he's dropping the ball all over the place. If anything, you should be apologizing. You should be quiet. Why are you banging on the damn wasp's nest? Because the Bear Nation is already about this close to jumping all over your son because he can't hold on. Cole Kmet threw him a strike in the first quarter, and the Bengals challenged it. And I'm like, what the hell are they challenging? Man, the ball rolling all on the ground. He rolling all over on top of it. He's trying to hide it, man. What are you doing, bro?
Listen,
so honestly, Rome wasn't built in a day, man. I don't know what the hell he been doing.
Somebody need to tell his dad ain't a damn offense in the NFL that's equipped for drops, bro. There is not one of them. Okay, how you slice it.
Correct. And the last guy you want to start losing trust in you is Benjamin Johnson.
Yeah.
Because Benjamin Johnson doesn't have a lot of damn, leash. I don't care where you get drafted at receiver if you're dropping the football, if you're not blocking, and you're not running your routes. And mainly dropping your football is 1A. So pipe down, Mr. Odunze. I don't know. Go do something else, man. Go and find some things with your time that you need to do other than, get Bear Nation riled up talking about getting your son somewhere where he can get the ball and get a offense that focuses on him. You need to get a damn pair of gloves with some stickum on them and send it to him.
It's so odd, man. It's so odd because he seems the ball seems to be very quiet in his hands when he catches. So it seems like he just shouldn't be a person that has bad hands. There's got to be lapses in concentration just because
all mental.
Mental.
He's so sound with his ball skills.
Yeah, his mechanics are too good.
I think the Dallas game, he had a touchdown that he dropped. What's his name? Hit him in the back, and we touched on it then. And you were like, man, he really got hit. So I kind of, okay. I played the position. Sometimes it's the physics, right? You attacking the ball, and the guy hitting you in another direction, and it just, it happens. But he's dropping what I call routine balls. He's dropping hard passes. It's just become a part of his DNA. So spent way too much time on Rome and his dad and what they got going on. But the zero catches in a game like this is easy to explain. I was just explaining the why is you lose the confidence of your quarterback, you lose the confidence of your play caller when you are consistently, juggling and dropping the football. And he, for some reason, he's got a little bit of the yips right now. So all in all, offensively, I knew we should have a good game, and that's what we talked about in the preview, which is, hey, we're gonna need the offense to carry the defense, and that's exactly how it played out. On Sunday.
We did. We talked a lot about the special teams already with the kick return, but I wanted to highlight the fact that the Bengals missed at least a field goal, if not two, if I remember this correct. And McPherson's he's a pretty good kicker, man. You
know why he missed it?
Yeah.
They're talking about all these rumors. They got the kicker balls now that are juiced up, so you can doctor them, you can juice them up all week.
Oh.
And because it was, I think it was at a time where it was sudden kind of, they didn't get a chance to swap out the offense ball for the kicker ball. Because when he came up short, I was like, wow, his leg is pretty. Ever since Florida, he's been, kicking the leather out the ball.
Yeah. So,
I think it's just one of those situations where he didn't get the normal ball and hit it a little. Sometimes like golf, you hit a little fat and it got caught up in the wind. It was like a 54 yarder that fell short. So wasn't an easy kick, but for now, I guess with 68 yarders of flying through the damn uprights, 54 feels like it should be pretty makeable. So it's kind of surprising that he did miss that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in this game, every point seemed to matter. So, that was those, that's tough, and that's you hate to feel that way about a game when you have an opportunity. One team scores 42 points, but look, no margins for error, man. You got to make the easy ones make the easy ones look easy. So that's what I thought about the special teams, coaching wise. I like Cincinnati's coach. I think it's a little bit underrated. He's a good play caller. He's held that team together, but they don't have the horses with the injuries and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
man, Ben Johnson is he's on the heater, man. He got a big bag when it comes to his offensive play calling. And
Talk to me. Keep going. I just put a picture up. Keep talking to him. Keep hyping my guy up. See Ben with his grills. Man, Ben dialing it up out there, man.
He's dialing up. He definitely can be a prick when he needs to be. So I'll give him that too.
Yeah.
But it's certainly effective, man, and he certainly is quite a coach when it comes down to it, and I feel like he has the pulse of his team. Like he knows what that team needs. I think, and I mentioned to you with this game, I think for him, the way this game ended, with the sloppy play down the stretch and the onside kick and all the other things that went on, it kind of got Cincinnati back into this game. That just totally had me thinking, man, I thought this thing was over with. Man. And I told you when I walked into the sports bar and I saw the score up there, I was like, hold up, what game is this? Because the Bears game is over. That thing is over. So
you know what? Yeah, I think, and this is my perspective on it, and I'm kind of fast forwarding it to, I'm going to the end, but they put out the locker room celebrations now, and Ben had to fake it, right? Ben was livid, and he told the team we don't apologize for victories and anything like that, but he was absolutely livid. And if you know Ben like I know Ben, I've just had a chance to really get into his psyche this year. It's exactly what you said, and we talked about it, where there's some games you win and you don't feel, like you played your best or you didn't give the right effort. And that's the next step of growth that we were talking about. And this was one of those games for him where obviously he's happy we got the win, but he's like, it shouldn't have never been this close. And he was absolutely livid around, giving up 15 points in less than a minute and
49 seconds.
49 seconds, and having to come back and win in that fashion. But getting back to his psyche, man, he started this game off, man, with trick plays. You saw the big 4th down conversion. I was screaming, kick it, please kick it. We on the road. I want to put some money in the bank. Yeah, man. And Ben is going in the savings. We only got $1,000, man, and Ben taking out 999 of it. I guess 995 because you got to have 5 to keep it open. But he already taking all the money out the bank. With Ben, what are you doing? He calls them the plays called hot potato, man. Basically, it's Philly special. And Caleb catches a touchdown, and we tie the game up 7-7. And they, the CBS has great cameraman, man. They pan the camera over to Ben, and he breathing like he just took a big whiff of smelling salt. So I'm like, this dude is a psychopath, man. It felt good to him. I'm about to have a heart attack, and it gave him an adrenaline rush, man. He on cloud 9 on the high.
That's crazy, man.
He put Cole Kmet.
That's a dopamine hit for him.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, he got a damn dopamine rush, man, and he got Cole Kmet getting under center, throwing it to Caleb, and throwing it back to Tyson Bagent. He got Cole Kmet throwing passes to Roma Dunze. He pulled out a lot of tricks, but they also were to attack weaknesses, and he said to challenge the eyes of a defense that he knew, some young guys who he knew they weren't eye disciplined. He said also, in some man coverages, he knew they wouldn't cover a quarterback, right? So Caleb actually had 2 big receptions, one for a touchdown, one for like over a 15, almost an explosive play. It might have been 20 yards or so. So, he came in super aggressive through the run game, through the pass and attack, and really, I thought, called one of his better offensive games that I've seen in a while. Because as we talked about against the Ravens, we looked completely buttoned up. and less aggressive. And I think he self-scouted and kind of got back to his identity.
And I think the thing with him is he wants to shake and get that that moniker about stereotype about the Bears, that they're going to kind of somehow, some way find a way to blow it at the end or give it up. That they're going to fold up, that they're not going to be, sharp and just close out a game in which they should win.
Mm-hmm.
I think that embarrasses him. I think that's what he wants to coach out of this team. It's like, you come in, you drag us through the mud and beat our ass, and we tip our hat to you and move on to the next game. But if we got a game under control and we have done the things we're supposed to do to win, and we just gaff it off and let teams fight and get back in there, and all this, Aaron Rodgers, I own you type stuff, man. And a lot of that stuff is just hocus pocus, and he wants all of that out, because in his mind, the way he thinks like an engineer, those things are zero-sum games. Even if it is the NFL, you just it's not supposed to happen with teams. So that embarrasses him to see, the fact that the way that game went. So
culture shifter, and you hit the nail on the head. I think his mentality. I'm gonna stop saying I think. I know his mentality is to change the narrative around the psyche of his players who kind of get into that woe is me, here we go again.
I think that's your main goal this year. I mean, you obviously want to win, you get to the playoffs, all that stuff.
Right.
But I think the main thing he wants to do is establish a culture that we go in, we execute the way we're supposed to. We play to our standard. We win the game. Ain't no damn question marks about that.
We attack. And the days of
it's up to
we
you
get
to
off the bus.
Beat us.
Right. The days of we get off the bus running and we just trying to get it back to the defense to get them to win it for us. Those days are over. That's just not his style. Sorry, I stepped on you. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I think we're saying the same thing. So that's kind of what I got out of this whole thing. Talk to me about this game and what you saw was, kind of the play or the possession that kind of flipped this game or kind of won it or put it in your, in hand for you.
Man, the big strike to Coast and Loveland, man, to win it. I turned on a lot of people who aren't Bears fans, just haven't been watching, and I know I don't mean it in a negative way. And my ears are more sensitive to it. I think Adam Archuleta was on the call, and from jump, man, he was all over Caleb to the point where he was questioning his decision making on whether it was through progressions, whether it was through kind of, using his feet to grab some yards instead of, throwing the ball. When he completed passes, he was talking about, it wasn't a runner's ball, it wasn't a great ball. I just never seen the level of scrutiny that I've seen with Caleb this year. Troy Aikman was the same way in that in a game. I forget, what was the game Troy Aikman called?
Commanders.
The Commanders. It was just super negative, and it got to the point I had to go check the stats, and this was the first quarter. I'm like, damn, man, he's got, at the time he had a receiving touchdown, and he was relatively clean. Caleb didn't throw a ton of picks. His style of play, and this is what I want to talk about, man. This is what he ended up with: 20 or 34, 355 total yards, 4 touchdowns, and a win. Right?
That's crazy.
And if you just look at this in a vacuum,
numbers.
You look at this in a vacuum, you would think the narrative and kind of the feeling around him will be much more positive. I hear the Drake May talk. I hear the Trevor Lawrence talk. I hear a lot of positivity around these young quarterbacks, and Caleb's really, I'm just gonna throw a few things out here, and the reason I'm setting it up for a reason. Over the last 2 years, all he's done is thrown 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, over 5,000 yards. And his last 6 road games, he's led 4 comebacks, right? But if you listen to these guys talking, if you listen to the Bear Nation kind of last week, they were talking about, should he be benched? Should he, should we have Tyson Bagent in the game?
No way.
They're talking about, is he regressing? And I'm almost to the point where I'm defending him, but from what are you guys looking at? The guy, Caleb Saquon Williams, I'm using his middle name, Saquon Williams, is the best player on our team. I don't know how loud I have to say it. I don't know how many times I have to say it. His ability to avoid sacks. I know sometimes he's looking like he's getting chased by bees, and it drives me crazy too. And I was driving in the car and I said, I got it. Brett Favre. Think back to Atlanta. And he spent a year in Atlanta, and they like, we don't even know what to do with this guy. Jerry Glanville had him, and, we got a super talented kid here. He's a wild horse, wild pony who can harness that. And they sent him over to Mike Holmgren, and they put him under some structure. And, I'm sure he drove Holmgren up a wall too. But you see how that you saw what that turned into, right? And you talked about putting an A-type with the creative and analytical with the creative. And this is just what we're going to have to deal with, Bears fans. It's not always going to be, within structure and 1, 2, 3 pass and dump it down and going through the progressions with Caleb. And in that first half, he was, a little bit what I call just big game hunting. He was looking for some things, and whether it was a miscue on himself, whether it was a miscue with the line, the Bears offense just wasn't jiving like it wanted to jive at that time. But the narrative around him was so negative, it almost feels like he's the reason why we're losing these games as opposed to the reason why we are winning these games. So when you ask me, what was the biggest play? Joe Flacco throws a touchdown, and oh my God, Joe Flacco just led the comeback, and he's an artist, and this is what a 40-year-old does. Go back and listen to the call and read the papers and just read some of the headlines. He threw a dart with no timeouts to Colston Loveland, 35 yards over a linebacker in between his safety and deep out of the well. He wasn't running around. He pulled a fastball and dropped it in there. And all I heard, after the game was how Colston Loveland, and rightfully so, Colston had a great game. There was no flowers thrown at Caleb Williams. And I said, maybe that's a good thing. But his mental toughness, everybody, even the Bears defense my emotions had flipped at that point. We go from, I'm celebrating and feeling good to my emotions all over the place. And the kid, the man, with the painted nails and the quirky style, and everybody feels like he's so, what do I call, entitled, and he's just a bad teammate, and you can't follow a leader who they calling him zesty and all this stuff. And I just don't see it. I think he's a dog. I think he's one of the most competitive guys. He cried in the stands with his mom, and everybody taught, you can't do that. If you're a leader of men, to me, that means you care. We've been around guys in this league who don't care, who they lose a game and they go and they like, this is my job, and I don't take it home. I think it's Caleb's gift and his curse. I'm glad we got him. I'm appreciative of it because in those moments, not many quarterbacks would have responded the way he would have responded in that moment. And it didn't look pretty. 50 seconds, 1 timeout, and he threw a game-winning touchdown to win a game on the road when it looked very bleak. And you've been in those situations where you're just hoping to get a kick up, not score a touchdown, right? So that was the play that flipped it for me. And I want to give Caleb Saquon Williams his flowers. Thank you, Caleb, for enduring not only national media, the Chicago media is killing him. And I don't know why. It's unfortunate and it's upsetting to me that we got a local media in Chicago who's this negative and down on our own quarterback to the point where if this was his 5th year, if this was Trevor Lawrence, then I say it might be warranted. This is truly his 8th game in what I call a structured offense. And, I'm proud and happy to see him to lead the offense and to get us in that situation and get a win when, you know, we looked pretty down and out at the end of that game.
Yeah, I just think that it doesn't really matter what these, you know, analysts or commentators say, because the reality is the guy is uber talented, and in this offensive structure with this coach, he's just gonna take off, and it's gonna get shoved down everyone's throat, no matter how they like it. They don't care whether or not they don't want to see it or don't want to hear it. You know, it's just nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. I think my biggest question is, and I'll wrap up with 2 points. My biggest question is if you're you know, a follower of the Chicago Bears or a fan of the Chicago Bears, and you got all these injuries on defense and all this other stuff, how the hell you think y'all win these games? Like, where you winning 5 games from if your quarterback isn't out there, getting it done? Right. Please don't tell me you think it's the defense right now. And I think you can say that yourself. I'm not, please don't tell me it's the kicking game.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. And Ben Johnson, for everything that he is as far as a play caller, he still doesn't execute the play. I guarantee you, if it was Justin Fields out there running them plays and some of these other quarterbacks, it wouldn't look like this.
We'd be 1-6. We'd be 1-6 or 1-7. And I'm not knocking Justin. I just think and I had to adjust myself too, right? We had a lot of conversations.
The margins are too small, Harry.
Correct.
Like you're not winning these games by 4 touchdowns. These are tough games. All it takes is a couple of plays to not go your way. And Justin Fields is capable of screwing up more than a couple of plays. Believe me on that. So I just don't understand what they're looking at. You know, and you know that this is, you know, we're following the Bears and so forth, but I'm as objective as I can be about these teams. I try to be.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what they're looking at as far as, like, how do you think these games are being won? He's the only thing that's consistent.
I think the reality for me is this: within the national media, the Bears are just polarizing in a ratings driver, especially
you're in a tough division.
Right, we're in a tough division, but we're in a ratings driver. We've been the punching bag for so long, and remember, you touched on it in the Commanders game, because we are starting to shift and be more consistent and more competitive. We are no longer the butt of the joke, right? The expectations of, wow, they really playing hard. They're a little bit better than we thought. Are we perfect? No, but I think from the perspective from the Bears fan, nationally, I think it's just, hey, this is all. The Bears are going to implode at some point. They're just waiting for the shoe to drop. In-house, you know, it was this whole civil war between Justin Fields and drafting Caleb Williams, the Hall versus Caleb. And there was a contingent who wanted Justin Fields to be the quarterback and to take the Hall. And I had to come around to it to where, like, Caleb is the Hall, right? When you look at the quarterback and what he means to the team, there's not many, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, when you look at Tom Brady, when you look at, Joe Montana, Josh Allen, these guys are
force multipliers, man.
Force multipliers, they're rare. And I don't even think, I didn't even know what I was looking for until I got it. And I'm like, wow, because we just hadn't had it since maybe Jay Cutler. He kind of was on that cusp, and his leadership was so poor that he kind of, cut off his own nose despite his face in those situations. But my perspective on it is, internally, we are so critical of him because there's a faction of our own fan base who wants to see him fail, to say, I was right. Justin Fields should still be our starting quarterback. Man, and there's the other faction of our fan base who want to see him as what they think is a Patrick Mahomes, and they don't realize Patrick Mahomes didn't start his first game until week 16, right, of his rookie year, and he had a chance to kind of grow and learn and under Andy Reid. And this is really Caleb's rookie season at what I call executing a high level system and the complexity and the things that we're doing. And I've really turned off the noise. I listen to a few guys when it comes to quarterback. Kurt Warner is my guy. And Kurt Warner kind of gives a recap every week of multiple quarterbacks, not just Caleb, but Caleb's become one of his normal quarterbacks that he's critiquing, him, Drake May, and Bo Nix. And he's like, I don't know what the hell these guys are looking at. He said, Caleb, that Ravens game, that interception was terrible, right? Because it flipped the game. It was 13-16, and he ends up throwing an interception that, they end up punching in and allowing them to go up 10. But outside of that interception, he was like, man, Caleb played pretty well. And I don't think people understand the nuances of orchestrating and running a Ben Johnson offense, the motions, the subtle shifts, all of the different minutia, details, your drops, everything has to be so precise and organized that I think they don't realize. It's like trying to, perform at such a high level, and you're doing a very difficult and intricate task, and you're watching people, people are watching you do it. And sometimes there's going to be a little bit of stumbling. It's not going to be pretty, but he came out in that second half, man. He was so decisive. He was so sound. And I'm proud of him. I really think his mental toughness coming from, didn't have a terrible first half, but I think in that second half, you could tell Ben had a conversation with him around just, hey man, settle in, get the ball out of your hands. Don't go big game hunting on me just yet. But that throw to Colston Loveland, make no mistake about it, was big game hunting. You do not throw a 30-yard seed in a seam in between four people with the game on the line if you're scared. You do not make that type of throw with no timeouts if you don't have an elite arm with full confidence that you're going to get it there. And hearing him post game, he's like, Ben Johnson, we were hunting that coverage all day. All day we were hunting that coverage, and we finally got it and we executed it. So to everyone, who had issue with Caleb Williams and his development, I don't know what to tell you. 2 years, 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, an 88 core QBR, and he's with an offensive mind that he's going to be with for a long time. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at a player who every week I feel like is starting to, show some growth and improvement. And he's already matched his wins from last season, 8 games into this season. So he's at 5 wins halfway through this season. So I'm not being too crazy with my forecast. I think he'll win a few more to where we're going to see the growth in him, being an 8, 9, 10 win guy this year. And that's not bad, right? When you look at your quarterback with a new system, with a new play caller, I don't know what people expect from him, but I thought that was the play for me where I'm like, he's growing up and he's blocking out the noise. And I was super proud of him.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that pretty much was the difference in this game down the stretch. I mean, that play to Colston was amazing, and wrapping up this particular contest.
And look at that. This the face that this is how. Look at this. You see her face. You see. You see her face.
Yeah.
This is what Caleb's doing.
Breaking hearts out there.
Breaking hearts out here. So I'll take this, and don't worry about that part. Don't worry about the 27.
Nice outfit.
Though. Yeah. Nice outfit. Big oversized hat, but that's what he's doing.
Yeah, breaking hearts, no doubt about it. I think the play for me was, and we'll move on. But for me, I think it was the third down run to get the first down, to reset, because to me he was running for his life the first and second down. He was scrambled, he was frazzled, and the Bengals were starting to feel like, okay, we're gonna close this thing out right here and get a stop on fourth down. And the fourth down pressure is so high. 4th and 10, you're stuck between trying to get enough yards to move the ball and trying to actually just get the first down. You didn't want to get to fourth down.
Oh, yeah.
And, he had that pressure on him, and he relieved that pressure by getting out the pocket and scrambling and getting, 12 yards or something like that on third down. And I think that gave them the opportunity to kind of breathe and say, okay, we got a new set of downs. All we need is a field goal. I can attack again and not feel like I'm under pressure, because you can't throw the ball down the field on third down or fourth down if you need 10 and take a risk like that, because if anything goes wrong, the game's over.
Right.
But you can do it on first down because you got another down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think to me, getting that first down on third and not on fourth took a lot of pressure off him, and that gave him the kind of settle down, feeling to attack and go back and actually try to do damage and not just play for the field goal per se. So that was my take on it. Excellent win after coming back, with the Bengals, the onside kick and everything like that, and pulling it off. So that's a big win. That takes you to 5-3. It puts you a half a game out of first place.
Call the ambulance, man. But not for us. Call it for them. Don't call it for us. Call it for them, man.
Man, y'all sitting there, you freaking. You got the Packers in first place and the Lions right behind them, and you're right with them, and the Vikings are right there with the 500 record. I mean, that's a tough division.
Rico Dowdle, man, the fighting Panthers, man.
Playing each other.
Well, Minnie and Detroit played each other, and Minnesota got the best of them, and the fighting Rico Dowdles in Carolina, man, they came through and did us a solid. So we got us
a good week, bro. It's a good week for you.
Yeah, we got us a log jam in the NFC North with half a season to go, and you're right, we're gonna have to play each other. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. We can't hide. It only iron is going to sharpen iron, and the reality of the NFC, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, San Francisco, all of the Minnesotas and the Green Bay Packers. These are all teams that's fighting for 6 spots, right? Yeah. And it's only so many spots, so ain't no, it ain't for the faint of heart. These next, 7, 8 games that we got left here on the schedule, you gotta come in ready to go and ready to play some football. So let's get on that and let's put a bow on this one. Big win for us. We go into. We had some injuries, man. So trade deadline is tomorrow. I'm expecting us to make a move. Pass rush, corner, running back, I'll be on the lookout for that. So we'll be able to talk through that if it actually comes into fruition in our next preview for next week's games.
Wrap this up. Bears win 47-42. Thriller. Move on to 5-3. Bengals fall to 3-6, I think.
3-6.
Yeah. So they're in a little bit of trouble now. So a little bit tougher for them. So we're moving on to our next contest, which just wrapped up tonight.
Yeah.
That was Cardinals Cowboys. Backdrop there. Kyler Murray is out. There's some issues there going on in Arizona with him. I think Gannon, the coach there, who's an excellent defensive coach, feels like this team is, on the cusp. That could be a good team that lost a lot of close games. And I don't think he really cares too much for Kyler Murray and his style, the way he leads and stuff like that. So, this might have been a game where we might have been better off. The Cowboys fans might have been better off with Kyler Murray playing because, Brissett was money tonight. The Cardinals defeat the Cowboys 27-17, and we don't really have to spend a whole bunch of time on this one if we don't want to.
Man, we got a couple of things I want to talk about now. I know it's fresh, so I don't. after every game, there's some emotion tied to it.
Yeah.
But I do think, me watching the game, it felt like you guys came out flat. How do you think your energy level was? It was a game where you talked about coming back home and kind of getting back into your winning ways. Yeah.
Hadn't lost at home this year. Was averaging 41 points a game.
Yeah.
And I think a little PTSD from the Denver Broncos game. The Cowboys took the possession and went down the field and moved the ball with proficiency. Got down towards the goal line, and decided they were going to go for it. And I wanted to kick the field goal because I just felt like if you won the toss and you got the ball. I'm sorry, you lost the toss and you got the ball first. And went down there. You need to play with a lead, even if it's 3 points.
Yeah.
So take it. And they went for it and they didn't get the first down. And then Arizona kept the ball and drove down the field and got a field goal. So they kind of flipped the game right there. And it kind of went south from there. So
yeah, we talked about that too, right? In our Q&A. You guys check out the Q&A. I think we had a long discussion around, the gains and the benefits of going for two and the timing of it, right?
Yeah,
and I felt like this was a game where you didn't need to jump the gun there. I think if you guys go up 3 and, like you say, reset, kick the ball off, maybe the game floods the other way for you guys because you're not giving them confidence. That stop gave them confidence and it kind of flipped momentum. Yeah, you guys never really got a chance to get that back until maybe into that third quarter, right? For me, yeah.
Yes, I can't even say that we started out flat. The Cowboys started out flat. I can only say that they started out. I would say this though: they didn't start out sharp. I can't say that the energy was low, but the execution was low.
Right.
Penalties, bad plays, and actually, I thought the defense came out and they were flying around because they kept the Cardinals in third and long. They were stopping the run and keeping them in third and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 10, and the Cardinals continued to complete it. And just the Cowboys just could not get off the field when it came down to it. But I'm like, man, this effort right here. If you take this effort and play most games like this is what normal football looks like.
I agree. I think it's a weird conundrum, right? Because I do feel like we kind of got back to some of your week 1, week 2 struggles with the defense, where you got when you got the Eagles in long, second, third and longs, and you got the Packers in third and longs, and you just couldn't close the deal, and you guys that reared its head to where you have a splash play or a sack or something, and then they come right back and get it all back in one chunk. And I don't know. I agree with you. I thought the effort was there. I felt like they really went after your secondary. Marvin Harrison had more targets than he had ever had in the first quarter. And McBride, we knew that monster was coming. And, sometimes it's, I got a text message. Somebody said, is that, man, he looking like the incredible, like Lou Ferrigno out there, man, before he turned into the Incredible Hulk, man. He's such a talented guy. He's a talented tight end.
To call his ass McBridezilla. He was out that motherfucker, man. Dang. Nobody. I mean, look, and I can't even say that the Cowboys secondary, that they were, like I said, weren't trying. They came up with ferocity to hit this dude, and he just wouldn't go down. I mean, you couldn't knock him. I mean, he's just a physical guy, man. So
Wilson came up and hit him, and Wilson, man, one thing we know about these NFL guys, until you get up and close and personal, these are they look almost superhero-ish in real life. And Wilson is, extremely athletic, big, strong guy. And he hit Wilson with everything he had. And about 2 other Cowboys came and joined in on the party, man. And Wilson looked like he had tweaked or strained something and just kind of limped off the field. And I was like, wow, man, for you to
that was Bell, Marquise Bell.
Oh, yeah, Marquise Bell. Sorry. Yeah, Marquise Bell from FAMU. FAMU.
Who's 6'3", 205 pounds of safety, had played linebacker a couple of years ago.
Well put together. And for you to make him walk gingerly off the field.
Couldn't even get him down.
Couldn't get him down, needed some help. And then McBride popped up, man, like, nothing had hit him. So we played them last year, and he killed us. He's just an elite tight end. I think a lot of the casuals don't know him just because they aren't on TV quite a bit, and his name hadn't really got out there. But we knew he was, going to be a focal point of the offense, and they highlighted him, and he made you guys pay today.
But you know what's funny about that? He's not on TV very often. Mm-hmm. Anytime the damn Cardinals play the Cowboys, they got it all figured out. This is what happens. See, this is what I you got to understand. If you're coaching the Cowboys, you have to understand there is no off week. There is no team that's going to come in and just not going to overlook you, because there is always something to be gained when you play versus Dallas on national television on a Monday night. Man, the Cardinals was 2-5 and literally left for dead, right? Yeah. And they literally said, you know what though? We can make everyone think that we're a damn playoff team if we come here and punch Dallas in the face, because everyone's watching us.
Man, and that ain't even true, because damn YouTube and took ESPN off of the catalog. So you would think, they like, man, this might be a game where we might slide up under the radar, but no, you're right. The home, I don't know, Jerry's world, the home field advantage just isn't there in that way. Lakers effect, Yankees effect, Duke effect, Notre Dame effect. There's certain teams where, as soon as they walk into your stadium or arena, you're going to get their best shot. And we saw them play some close. We talked about it, right? They just played the Packers close. They played, the Indianapolis pretty close to vest. They don't suck, but tonight they looked like a well-oiled machine. They were super physical, and the running game got going as well, and it allowed them to control the clock and allowed them to work off play action. And we talked about Brissett coming in. It's kind of similar to Huntley with the Ravens coming in against us, where you can, it's the gamesmanship where is Kyler Murray going to go or not going to go. So I think you come in with a game plan, two different game plans, and Brissett feels like the lesser of the game plans until you get out there and you realize that he's a quarterback sneak. Nobody expected him to run the ball. And, he goes right up the, the middle, pretty much unaccosted for a quarterback sneak. Kind of a little bit more mobile than you think he is. He's a little bit more sharp with the football than you think he is. And unfortunately, you guys end up on the wrong side of chasing them uphill with confidence, and time just ran a little short on you, right?
And I really, I can't say that the defense didn't give a great effort. I think they had 5 or 6 sacks. They put Arizona in some long down and distances. They made them go. They didn't give up chunk plays over and over again. I mean, Arizona had to move the ball down the field to get into position. They didn't just give it up, big chunk plays. They didn't have to, target or hunt or spam any individual player. I mean, they picked and choose different ways to go about it. Some worked, some didn't. So I can't even say that the defense was terrible. But don't get me wrong, that's how bad they've been, that we will accept a 300-yard, 27-point defensive effort. We'll take that most nights, because we feel like that gives us a chance to win. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan or a player. But tonight, to me, the offense was just not sharp enough to me. No. You drive down, you had a chance to score a touchdown, and you go for it, you don't get it. You're not even close. You should have kicked the field goal. You're coming before halftime when you usually have been able to execute very well and get a field goal, and you fumble. You know what I'm saying? And you lose that possession, and you're already dealing with a situation where the Cardinals had back-to-back possessions because they won the toss, so they was going to get the last possession in the first
Double
one.
dip the chip.
That 8-minute span, right? The 8-minute, that you got to win that, and so really you look at those scenarios, and that's really what flipped the game. It was the first possession in which the Cowboys didn't score and didn't kick the field goal. The possession before halftime when you didn't get the points that you had on the table.
Yeah, the missed 68-yard kick.
What's that?
The missed 68-yard kick.
Yeah, I can't even say anything about that because that's just too far of a kick to expect to make. Other than the fact that you didn't get enough yards. You didn't get enough yards. Maybe you didn't have enough time, but you didn't get enough yards to.
I just look at it. To me, it's like the momentum, right? And you go in, and this is why I said it felt flat, just because I'm just looking at body language, and I think you're going to go back and look at. I watched them walk through the tunnel and coming back into the the locker room. I think if you guys, and I'm not expecting you to make a 68-yard kick. I'm just saying if you do hit it, the energy picks up, and you kind of sprint to the locker room with a little different mindset.
Yeah, because as you say, you get one stop and you get some points, and you're right back in the game, Right,
and the reason why I said it that way is because when they came out of the locker room, you saw Arizona go right back down the field, and it was like, geesh, man, there was no resistance, and it wasn't like they weren't laying down. I think it was just sometimes and you have games like this in the NFL, and this is what we talk about, complementary football, and sometimes your offense is gonna have a bad day, right? Sometimes your defense is gonna have a rough day, your special teams is gonna be rough. There's gonna be a need for one of the units to bear a little bit more of the strain, a little bit more of the brunt. And your defense is just not equipped to do that right now. Yeah. And, the special teams, that 68-yard kick would have gave you some juice. Yeah. That didn't happen. Turpin couldn't get it going today in the return game.
You blocked the punt, so that was your special teams play right there.
And you guys were right there on every punt. It felt like you were going to block damn near every one. So whatever you guys saw in the film room, it was he didn't even block it with his hand. He blocked it with his face mask because he was right there. He was that close,
and he was getting held.
Yes, and then
it's crazy.
You sprint and you land on it. So you're right. So there's some what I call residual, like you say, hangover from these games as you go down. The NFL locker room is super complex. People think these NFL teams are what they played on their youth football team or in high school when everybody's a big happy family. When they don't understand, the defense and the offense might not really, hang out and talk to each other, just not because they don't want to. You just got different meetings, different schedules, different lift times. So there becomes a level of resentment. There becomes a level of, hey, man, you're not carrying your weight. I saw Cincinnati's locker room implode on the defensive side where, hell, we can't get one stop. 6 weeks ago, your offense couldn't get a damn touchdown, right? But, I do, and I'm not saying that's happening fully in the Dallas locker room. I think this is natural for the offense to look around and like, geez, man, our first off game, and you guys can give us nothing. And to your point, they actually did. Sacks, got off the field a few times, and the offense just couldn't get it going. But, at the end of the day, the reality is against the Arizona Cardinals, this is my other question to you. You got to find a way to win that game. And Flus, I know you guys coming up on your bye week. I got a tough question for you. I know we talked about Flus, and we heard the endorsement from Shotty to kind of, say, hey, I'm not making any changes. That's just not the reality of the NFL, right? This is a results-driven business. Is it, you guys going into the bye and you look at making a change at defensive coordinator to try to give yourself a spark in the second half of the season? What's your thoughts on Flus sticking around or you guys trying to find a spark by letting them go?
Harry, I will be real frank with you here. I don't think that this defense has enough healthy or supremely talented personnel to put the emphasis on Eberflus. I can't even say that it's just on him, because he does not have the personnel that he needs to execute. Like, say for instance, he loves large, long defensive tackles. You know who Flus needed? He needed Calais Campbell's 39-year-old 6'8" frame. You know what I'm saying?
That three technique. Yep.
The three technique that he likes looks like him. Not, no one looks like Calais Campbell, but you know what I'm saying.
Buckners, the Calais Campbells.
Yeah.
Because those body builds, yeah.
Those types of dudes can get pressure on a quarterback. They're like huge deep edge. They're like huge edges for him. And when they swim and make moves and stuff, they can create pressure right up the middle. And that makes your defense so strong. And so, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I don't think Flus is amazing, but I do think he is actually a pretty good D coordinator if he has his guys and the right types of dudes. He doesn't have them.
Yeah.
And I think that they're gonna say, we can't put this on Flus when he doesn't have his dudes. Let's give him the off season to try to put together the right type of system. And the other thing is, and this is probably the most important thing for now, I just don't think there's anything you can do at this stage to change the defensive coordinator to give the voice a different thing, because whoever comes in, if the scheme is different, there's no way they're going to pick it up. They just don't have the horses to do that. So I think what they do is the opposite. I think they maybe make a trade to try to get another.
So I'm gonna pause you. Jerry said a trade has been completed. He just didn't announce who, and he said that it's going to be an impact player that's going to play right away and impact right away. So a trade allegedly has happened. Jerry made that statement today. Minkah Fitzpatrick is who I heard was the player, safety. That'll give you some stability in the secondary. Minkah, Bama. Bama guy. He was drafted by I think the Dolphins, and then went to Pittsburgh and went back to the Dolphins. So I was just letting you know that might be on the way, right? That might your plan is already in action. It sounds like with Jerry, he's got a guy who he's identified in the trade. He just didn't name him. It was a little strange, but that's Jerry.
The trade deadline's tomorrow. And I mean, I guess the Cowboys can try to get whatever the hell the Philadelphia Eagles ain't already picked up. I mean, because they got 17 trades that they can make, and they still got 15 draft picks.
Three trades this week, and they still have a first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, and 2 fifths, and they have compensation coming for some of their other picks that went out, this year. So. Don't know how the hell Howie Roseman has mastered. He's the Sam Presti of the NFL right now, because they go grab Jalen Phillips, they grab Scott from the Jets, and they grab Zaire Alexander from the Ravens, who I think is washed, but
he's washed.
And then Graham, they call him off the couch.
Yep.
And hey, can you give us a little pass rush?
Yeah,
and I'm looking around, and we text each other like, "How in the hell is this even possible?" It doesn't even make, and it's not like they're not paying guys.
They have to give up anything for these guys either, man. It's crazy.
It's absolutely insane that Howie is, like I say, he's the Sam Presti for those who follow the NBA. You guys know Sam Presti is a damn wizard with the cap. He's a wizard with draft picks.
Yeah,
and somehow Howie Roseman has found a way to finagle and put together. I call it almost like a restructuring and a reloading of your team, kind of midway, like a diagnostics check, man. He got blood work done. He's like, yeah, we got a little high cholesterol here. We got, a little high sugar level here. So we're going to do this and tweak. And he's bringing in all the right pieces to try to solve. I didn't really know their defense had all these issues, but I guess they loading up to the point where they got to get extra pass rush help and some secondary help. So
crazy.
And these player Phillips for the Dolphins I think he's top 2 in pressures in the NFL. So he's gonna have an immediate impact. You toss him next to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and the rest of these guys, and I'm looking. I said, "Damn, why couldn't the Bears play them first?" But here we are. We gotta play them. We gotta deal. And obviously, you got to deal with them in division. But back to you guys. It sounds like you saying making a dramatic change right now for you with Flus being let go is not the answer. Is what I'm.
No, because I think if anything, it's almost like swimming halfway across the lake. Mm-hmm. At this point, you're at the halfway mark. So you're halfway to getting his system down and understanding what he's doing. Swimming halfway back the other direction, you covering the same distance, but starting over. Right. I would rather just finish the season with Flus and see if some of it sticks later on in the season, but also maybe get a couple of good players. So maybe when Siobhan Revelle comes back to practice, which is any day now, he's already practicing. But I'm talking about
Overshown is in kind of getting ramping back up, right?
Overshown is coming back. Kalen Carson is a cornerback; he's coming back. Mm-hmm. Malik Hooker is supposed to be coming back. Donovan Wilson is supposed to be coming back. And so Trayvon Diggs is supposed to be coming back. So I think what you do is you try to get the Jimmys and Joes just a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Okay, there was actually some pass rush today. And then you turn around and say, okay, see if these guys can be competitive on defense and get back on track and go from there and then see what you got. Because I don't think there's anything else that you can do at this stage that can get you any better. You just don't have enough dudes.
I know what you can. Well, yeah, I agree. And this is where I know what you can do. Exactly what you said. Let's go on by, and you kind of let as bleak as it looks and as bad as it feels right now. Now I'm speaking to Cowboy Nation, that division, and that's why you got me. Sometimes you need a friend when you're in low places. That I've been there when I had to call on you, and you came in and saved me. And we guess who we got next week?
Yeah,
or this week rather. Now this week we got the Giants, so we can give you a little help. We can beat the Giants. I think. The Eagles and the Packers. I don't want the Packers to win, but hell, if they win, now you get Philly down, and I got my old prop here. It's a little time, Cowboys. Don't worry, we turn this thing over for you. Just give it a little time, and this thing gonna run out, and you're gonna look around. It's gonna get a little better, and if you get a couple of, a little help from us. And who's the other game, man? In week 10. Let me hit it real quick. We got who's the Commanders? Commanders got somebody. The Commanders got the Lions. So I'm pretty. I think the Lions they're gonna be angry and pissed off.
Every team in the division can lose this week. It just sucks that the Cowboys couldn't win. But they could come back to the pack this week. And the Cowboys will come off with a bye and play the Las Vegas Raiders. Mm-hmm. So you know what that is, what that familiar foe is. And so we'll see where we stand at that point. But it's just like, I never looked at this season as, a kind of SBOB, what they call on Fox, SBOB, Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
I didn't look at this season as that. I just looked at it as, maybe you can right the ship, get on track, get hot, get in the playoffs, and maybe have a little bit of magic. But that's a lot of ifs and a lot of things that got to go your way. And I'm not worried about that. I just want to. This is a rebuild of a system and an organization that we're trying to build a foundation. It's not about, oh, we got to try to salvage and mortgage the future because of such and such. No, I'm not too worried about that. The Cowboys, they got cap space. They got multiple draft picks. And they got players that they can trade and stuff and move around. And I'm just going to see how this plays out. And that's why I've been able to take my emotion out of this one, even though it sucks. But I'm looking at this as a long range play this year. And, and I'm just along for the ride to see how it goes and see if we can build it up. So that's where I am. Tough loss. Way to sit on it. You got to stew over the bye. But it gives the team a chance to get healthy, a little bit stronger and stuff like that, and lick some wounds and stuff like that, and that's where
this is my thing too, man. And we know what's interesting, and I'm using the Giants. Sometimes it's around, just seeing growth and culture change, right? And my perspective is this is a down kind of season for you guys in that way, because defensively there's a uncertainty there where you're not really seeing the shift in the culture that you want to see. I think offensively you've been kind of surprised by the results, right? And then on the defensive side you've been just disappointed by the results. When I look at the Cowboys collectively, can you kind of flip that narrative a little bit and start to change the narrative around, like you say, get a little bit healthier? And it's stylistically the eyeball test right now, just what I call seeing better play, better effort, better results on the defensive end. Because now, a lot of Cowboys fans I'm talking to, they're like, yeah, man, we got to score 40 to win. We got to score, 45, 50 to win. And you and I know that's not necessarily the case. But it's just the way, it's feeling right now, because your defense is reeling. And when your offense is a little bit off, it's even more disappointing, because it's like, this is a game we should have won, right? And that's not the case. Every week, what do we talk about? I mean, every season we start off and we know we're not going 17-0.
Yeah.
And every loss feels like, and we predetermine some of these losses, and we'll hey, what do you think you're going to go? Ah, man, I think we're going to be 11-6 this year. And every loss, when it happens, it's damn traumatic, right? In the sense of it feels like the end of the world, and it's not, and it sucks. You're going to a bye with a loss, but hell, if the Bears help and the Packers help and the NFC North comes through, then what you really lost is nothing, because in the sense of you guys are still kind of be where you are right now, and you can control your own destiny, because you got games left within a division where you can make some noise, and the season isn't lost. It's just, like you said, get a little healthier, work your, what I call your self-scout, and find some of the things defensively, some tails that might be there. Get some rest, get away from it for a little bit. Flus, for all intents and purposes, his normal strength has been as a defensive coordinator. So unless he's completely shell-shocked and washed, I think he's going to come back and figure some things out.
No, because I think Flus did some good things today. I mean, there were some things that the defense did. That defense didn't play with a lack of effort today. They don't have the dudes in all the places. I thought they were fighting hard.
Clark woke up.
Yeah, I mean, as Araku got going, you got some pressure from Dante Fowler. You got some pressure from I can't think of his name right now. That just got there, the defensive end, and so
Clowney.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney got some pressure, got some sacks and stuff, and so. There were some plays out there. They did some things that were nice, and so they got to continue to build on that and move. And it's just that's what you're gonna have to deal with, and just continue to get better. And then I think look, man, the Cardinals and the Denver Broncos might have be the two best defensive teams the Cowboys are going to see all year. I mean, those teams, I just they're just very, very good on that
Yeah,
side of the ball.
right.
And so, I think it's just a tough matchup. So anyway, to not belabor this game, the pain is over, and
Yeah, it definitely sucks, but
mm,
we got to move on. You got to get to your next. Start thinking about who you. I should look who you guys got after the bye. Let me
the
see.
Vegas Raiders.
Oh, okay, at home.
Yeah, I don't know. I said no. It's on the road.
It's on the road. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. The yes, that's a good get right game. They might be
yeah,
sellers here tomorrow, so they might be a little lighter. You might
yep.
might see a little less of version of what they normally they had a tough loss to the
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars, Jags, and they might be waving the white flag on their season. So definitely a chance for you guys to get right. But I
Yep.
know today was disappointing for you, and just from you're 3-5-1, 2-1-1 at home right now, and season is still right there. It sounds crazy enough to say, and I'm not just saying it because you're on here, but you go on a
No,
little
man.
hot streak, you win 6 or 7, and
Yep.
you're right there in the midst of trying to fight for a playoff spot. Just keep
No.
punching, man. Eventually, till they say you're out of it, you keep punching.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Just keep playing it out. If you win enough games, you get yourself in. If you don't, you get a high draft pick, and then you move on from there. So
And you got two, so different
you got
paths of
the two first round draft picks and cap space. So this is good. So I'm watching to see how this team develops and some of the things that it goes through and stuff, and just seeing if the guys can get healthy. So this was a tough loss, no doubt about it. There were some things. I think the play that kind of turned this game was, the Cowboys were down, and they had an opportunity to go down and kick a field goal late in the fourth quarter. And if they kick that field goal, they basically make it a 2-score game.
Right.
And instead of kicking the field goal, they went for it on fourth down.
Right.
And Dak had a pass to CD, but
he's jogging. I don't know what he was doing. It was a lazy route.
First of all, he went so deep on the route. It was only 4 yards, and he pushed to like 12 to come back. Really, he could have pushed to 6 and came back, and the DB was still backing off of him. There's no way he could have stopped him.
Dak was ready to throw the ball and ended up
he just
kind of hitching a little bit. Yeah.
So I think that was a big play, because if you kick the field goal right there and you put it a 2-score, then all of a sudden when you score that next touchdown, it's 20-27, and you can say what you want, but at that point, the defense and the offense are looking and saying, "Look, we just need one stop and one score," and mentally, you feel like you can do it. And so, I'm not even going to talk about the first 3 points on the first drive that they gave away. The other 3 before halftime. There's 9 points. 9 points that they could get even without doing anything different. And that score is 26-27, with a ton of time left, 6-7 minutes, left in the game, and 3 timeouts, down 1 point. Right?
I hear you. I'm actually, I think the play that flipped it for me was the stop that the Cardinals got on you on that first drive. Psyche is very, and early in the game, I think it impacts, teams in different ways. I think coming off that Denver loss, if I was the head coach, I would have been looking for some positives early on. And for some reason, I'm not going to belabor the point around, taking 3 isn't a loss to me. That's a good opening drive. We get up, get 3, and let's, play with the lead and not give these guys any what I call instant life. And because they were down 2, and I my feeling is that early in the game, just keep punching on these guys. Your offense is so explosive. If it
Yeah.
was a team that struggled to score, for me, you guys taking 3 in that situation is the difference of you guys ended up 50-17 or 50-27 versus 47-27, because you're going to score touchdowns once you get rolling.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not going to get another opportunity. So
that's what I'm saying.
It's really just just stacking. So that to me, that was the initial kind of turning point where you got a team that looked around and they like, holy crap, man, we might be able to actually play with those guys.
Yeah.
And it gave them a little bit more life than I would wanted to given them when you didn't need to. Like, why give it to them? So either way, like you said, 27-17, Cardinals walk away with the victory. You guys walk into a bye. We'll do our normal kind of recap for next week. Let's do this, man. We'll do a little Q&A and just kind of talk some trade deadline. If you guys make a move, we'll kind of talk just some future stuff for you guys. We'll do the Bears, Giants kind of preview and go through it. But to your point, all is not lost. Limp to your bye week a little bit, lick your wounds, and from a team standpoint, I think you guys come out of the bye week. I think the level of seriousness and hey, we don't want it to get too late on us, right? So coming out of the bye, you guys got to make it's a different mindset. You guys start your playoffs a little early. And I don't know if that's sustainable. To your point, it's not Super Bowl or bust, but it's good to start shifting the culture and start putting some emphasis on things improving and things being corrected to where you can get some victories. So let's talk a little Lakers, man. We got a couple of minutes. I know we touched on the Lakers, man, and you and I both, we love basketball. You love the Lakers and basketball, and I love Bron. And man, the season has kicked off. What is some of your thoughts? And they just won tonight with a I don't even want to call them ragtag, but Luka, Bron, no Austin Reeves. They go into Portland, and what we think is we call it a schedule loss because they played last night, a pretty tough opponent and a pretty tough game with the Miami Heat, who ran they got the pace of the game is insane. Yeah. So we think the Lakers kind of waved the white flag and said, hey, we're going to sit Luka and sit Austin and roll out. DeAndre Ayton didn't play last night, so it looked like they kind of had a plan, obviously, to handle the back.
He was fresh.
Yeah, he's fresh. So what's your thoughts, man, on our Lakers this year?
Lakers are 6-2. They have not seen LeBron James. They have had Luka out for at least 4 games. Right. They've had Austin Reeves out a game. Gabe Vincent is out. Maxi Kleber is out. Ayton has missed a game. Yeah. Jackson Hayes has missed multiple games. Yeah. And the Lakers are 6-2. Wow. I am so impressed with the way this team has played. And it's starting to look like this team has a combination of veterans who are stars and superstars who can win and play, and role players who excel in their role. And one of their roles are bring the juice every night. Right. And when you have a team like that brings the juice every night, then you can win a lot of games when you also have talented teams. And the way I look at it is this. When LeBron James was a young player and he was in Cleveland, he was the most athletic force that we saw. He had the most energy. He was the biggest force multiplier. And so his thing was, I can get you through the regular season, but I don't have playoff experience. So I need veterans who can help me win playoff games.
Right.
And now, 20 years later, he's saying,
Roles are flipped.
I got so much playoff experience. Now I got older legs. I need young guys to help me get through the season. And if you can do that, I'll help you get to the playoffs.
Right.
And I think that the team, the front office, has put together some really good, unique pieces, man. Some dogs, some defensive. Honestly, tonight's game was most of their best defensive players. You had Laravia, Smart, Vando, Aiden. Jackson Hayes, when he's active, is a very good defensive player because he's so athletic.
Yeah.
Bronny James Jr. is a good athletic, is an athletic defender. And then they got offensive production out of Smith, who was, that's unheralded. The young guy out of Arkansas? He played for Arkansas, right?
Arkansas, and he was on Charlotte, right? And this is, and you make a great point around the analogy with the roles kind of reversing for LeBron as to what he needs, right?
Yeah.
At this point in his career versus when he first, came into the league. What I find very interesting, in addition to that, is JJ's obsession with basketball, where he was, before he was a head coach, he just loved the game, and he was an analyst, and he was in multiple arenas, multiple gyms. And one thing that struck me before, and he became a head coach, because he had never been a head coach at any level other than AAU for his 8-year-old son or something like that. But he talked about being able to identify talent and guys who truly love the game. And that really resonated with him. And he has special affinity and special affection for those guys. Nick Smith Jr., Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart. Are three guys that I don't know. I do know. He watched them because LaRavia was floating around in Sacramento. And
Memphis.
Smith was kind of Memphis, and you look at Smith and he's kind of floating around in Charlotte. Man, talk about last year or years prior, we lacked youth and the guys being able to go in and what do I call it? When the stars aren't playing, they're like, hey man, I want to go get my stuff off today too, because I'm talented, right? And I really feel like Nick Smith Jr. is one of those guys where if he was really just given the volume to go out and try to get 20 a night, he could average 20 a night. He's that talented, and he did exactly that tonight. He had 25 and 6. He was 5 or 6 from 3, 83%. Jake LaRavia, again, solid, gave us 36 minutes, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and then his defensive help, he's a plus 14, and he's a Swiss Army knife out there. Rui had 28. We laugh about Rui. Somehow Rui, whenever we get the thinking Rui might just be on the verge of being trade bait, he'll give us a game or two where he makes himself, and he plants that seed of doubt, and he'll get a little water, and he'll pour that water right on it. And hey, trade me if you want. You trade a 28 and 7 guy away if you want to, who's also making big shots in the playoffs. And then you throw Ayton, had 29 and 10, right?
So you basically got you're basically looking at your production. Typically you would get 20 to 25 from LeBron, from Luka, and from Austin. Tonight, you got that production from Ayton, from Rui, and Smith.
Yeah. And to your point, just to amplify, now you got the defensive guys who only allow, and it sounds crazy in the NBA now, they only gave up 115, which sounds crazy, but in the NBA, that's winning basketball in a modern game, right? And Vando, Smart, Aiden changed shots. Jackson Hayes gave you some high energy
Yeah.
minutes. Even Bronny.
Even Dalton Connect
Yeah.
is starting to get deflections and steals, because the thing is, he's an athletic guy. His awareness was his issue, but no one has ever looked at Dalton Connect and said, "Dude, you're just like a turnkey, a turnstile." He's big, he's long, he moves well. There's no reason why he should be poor defensively. He
was a -10 tonight. He was 4-7 from the field. He was 0-3 from 3. But I look at Dalton Connect almost like this. Sometimes just knowing being a head coach is kind of knowing your strengths and your weaknesses of your players. And as long as he's trying and active, what you're really hoping is he gives you more offensively than he does defensively. Yep. And you just don't need him to be a complete liability out there. And tonight he's a -10, and we still walk away winning by 8 with him in the starting lineup. But also you didn't get a heavy dose of
minutes. You needed the depth. You needed his minutes.
Yeah, and you taught me this, really, there's a certain level of threshold where it starts to get too bad, right? So JJ found that sweet spot. He didn't get over 25 minutes. He was right at 23. Yeah. So just enough to help, not too much to hurt you. And, you slide Vando in and you slide Hayes in to get you some stops, and it all kind of evens out, over the course of 48 minutes.
Yeah.
The big picture with the Lakers is this. You got a great problem. Austin Reeves bet on himself, and right now he's holding. I don't even play poker like that, but he got, one of your best hands that you can think of right now, as far as him showing that he can be a number one guy somewhere and getting a big deal. You got Luka, who I think can, with this type of support, can carry the Lakers to the finals, because as deep as OKC is, there's certain things that he does that erases everything that they're great, all that defensive, get up in you and body you, and it just doesn't work against him, and it doesn't work against Bron. So I think with the right matchup, we have a chance to really, really, really be competitive. And the question is the infusion of Bron back into this equation, right? And you're going to get some the law of diminishing returns when you have him inserted back in the lineup. How do we keep this thing going? And you and I talked about how you keep it going is you reduce Bron's minutes.
Yes.
In the regular season, right?
And
you reduce it by him not having to play back-to-backs. You give him a game off. You give him some rest. Yep. So go ahead, back to you. Yeah.
No, and I would say, to your point, I would also say when he first gets back, I wouldn't worry about playing him, his close to normal minutes for a while anyway. I would say, first game back, 15 minutes. Next game back, 18, 19 minutes.
To ramp up.
Yeah, not because he is not going to be, in shape enough to be able to play longer, but because he's going to be out of the groove. Mm-hmm. You play him too long and you risk him, hurting that game and doing some things that he's out of sync with, and so forth. And so you just want to play him enough to get his legs back under him, but you don't have to lose a game because LeBron's out of sync, and you just want to just play him in the entire game to get him on track. No, you can still win the game, just limit his minutes and then ease him along. And then about 6 games into it, then now he's ready to, log, 28, 30 minutes if you need him to.
No, you're spot on with the, getting out the gates with this type of success. It gives you a chance to make a decision like that. Yeah. And bring him along the right way. I think,
we don't
historically,
need him to come save the day. We don't need him to no hero right here.
We don't need a hero. Actually, Bron had talked about the things that he worked on this offseason was his cutting and, playing off the ball, right? Spot up shooting. And 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever that threshold is of starting to work him in that role. And then I'm going to say something else, kind of throw your way. I would start working him out of the post and almost like a Karl Malone, Tim Duncan style of kind of later in their careers where he's not having to burn a lot of energy running around the court. You just get him to a spot and you feed it to him.
Yeah.
And you have utilized him as a passer. In 2020, we saw his best season, I think, as a point guard type. And it's almost the Draymond role. It's the Karl Malone role where, you got all the spores and the actions happening around him and you're allowing him to be a sound decision maker.
Yeah.
And like you said, he can work his way back into shape. He can work his way back into what we call rhythm without having to take a lot of toll and this hero save the day mentality. Say that for Luka. Say that for Austin. And this is the time for us to start tinkering around with some lineups, some unorthodox lineups. And it doesn't have to be a secret. I think last year JJ had we got these, Ham was big on that. I got this secret lineup I'm going to deploy. The really good teams don't care that what's coming, right? In the playoffs, all of these rotations get reduced down to 7-8 guys anyway. So let's start working on what I call, we might be one of those teams that might be able to go 8 or 9 deep is what I'm starting to see with
but get ready
with the players that we have.
But like you said, if you're gonna play, if you got the type of team that can work and make it work with 8 or 9 players, then practice it now. Use that rotation now. Don't let the playoffs come in and then you're trying to figure it out and then people are like, I ain't ready for this. Like, give these guys high leverage minutes during the season in these components. When you have this defensive lineup with Smart and Vando, and Arabia and LeBron and Ayton, you know what I'm saying? And you just got them guys out there just literally locking everyone up and running down the court and just finishing and stuff like that. So and say, okay, we can use that and deploy that if things get out of hand and we fall behind and we need to make a run or to close a team or something like that. And just see if that's a good chemistry. But you can work on that now and do it in small doses and still win games, man. Still win games.
The reality is this might be the swan song with LeBron and Bron in LA anyway. So, there's not a lot of what I call time when it comes to this team hadn't been together a long time is what I'm trying to say. It's not a team that's been, 2-3 years together at some of the glue points and the connection points. So this regular season should be pretty much used as our tune-up to hit the ground running in the postseason and to get Luka and LeBron and Austin to the playoffs as healthy as possible. It's like a running back by committee. I'm gonna call it a alpha by committee kind of mentality. Where those guys should come in pretty fresh because they haven't had to carry the load for 82 games. Luka might indirectly be in MVP talks just because of his natural God-given gifts. He's getting high 30s, 40s, just kind of with his natural game. But everybody else is going to settle into their roles, and there's going to be nights. Some night it'll be a thimble, some night it'll be a bucket. For you, but we shouldn't come in what I call just all burnt out and stressed to the point where we can't play high level basketball come postseason in April.
No, man, and you got Aiden there too to get easy baskets for you now. Hayes is starting to show where he can finish, and Vandal's a better finisher around the rim. I mean, you're still waiting for Maxey and Gabe to come back. There's just so many dudes. Any night, any of those guys, if Luka, LeBron, and Austin are your constants, all you really need is 2 or 3 of those other guys to just have their night, and you pretty much can pretty much hang 125 points on every team. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, Rui, we laugh and joke, but honestly, Rui is one of the best scorers on the team when it comes down to it. His efficiency, his ability to score, and he's like the fourth or fifth option. You got 2 number 1 overall picks and a number 3 pick in front of you, Rui, and he was the number 7 pick in the draft.
Right.
And so that's who he's second fiddle to. And I just think when you have that type of firepower, you can do a lot of things with these lineups and keep them going. I mean, God, man, Marcus Smart just showed he's like, y'all don't think I can score, huh? He knocking down threes.
Yes, and the reality is with Marcus Smart, we just have to keep him healthy. I think he's battling a chronic Achilles that he just kind of adjusted to playing with. And he's also a grit and grind guy. He's diving on the floor. He's he's mixing it up, taking charges, and a part of I call him a callus guy. He's a guy who needs that to build that callus to get his body ready for that type of style of play. So from that perspective, for me, it's trying to give him enough rest and give him enough what I call downtime.
He's gonna have to sit some games and stuff just to kind of
just sit some games where we have him as fresh as we can too. But really, really good stuff. We're excited about the Lakers.
Just getting started with them. So
that first, what is it, 8 games? They've been pleasantly surprising. And for you and I, we get a chance to really, 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 see some younger talent that normally that's not the Lakers' way. We've normally brought in veterans, to your point. Now we're getting to see some youth really do some cool things. So I think that's awesome. So man, let's get us out of here. I know it's late. And you had a rough
let's wrap
one,
up.
So,
wrap up. We're a couple hours in on this thing. Once again, we always appreciate the viewers that have been on, our audience, and the people who will also see this as a rebroadcast, and as we disseminate this to all of our platforms and various locations there on social media. So certainly appreciate everyone here. Once again, we wrap up tonight with a couple of games from this past week in the NFL. We'll be back on soon to do some Q&A. We'll also get ready for next week and the weekend and so forth. So for Harry, I am Mo. This is H&M Sports Academy. We're going to sign off for tonight. You guys have a great evening. And thank you once again. Y'all have a good night.
All right.